Good morning and welcome to another edition of Roadhouse Live. We are live. Today is August, that is Augusta in some parts of the world, 1st, 2023. Bender, how was your first day of Augusta?
Well, I woke up and I'm here, so I suppose we're on the right track.
On the right track. All right. Speaking of a track, looks like the dollar wants to be hoish. Looks like the VIX wants to pretend like it's alive again. Um, so hoish dollar, VIX thinking that it means something. Now what? What do we do as earnings continue to come in? Okay. As data continues to come in? Okay. Why now do they want to buy the VIX and why now do they want to play with the dollar when things appear to be kind of okay? Do you feel okay?
I feel great. I think we've been kind of talking for the last week about this scenario. So, regardless of the dollar and the VIX, we talked about the VIX a little bit, but just the way the chart's playing out here.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I feel pretty good.
Bender feels pretty good. All right. So, look, it's like, again, we're one of those deals. I believe news, I think it was Australia. They were expecting a rate increase in Australia. They did not do that. They said, no, we don't want to do that this time. I didn't get a chance to read into the rationale, as far as why they're saying they don't need to. Probably because inflation is pulling back and rates have skyrocketed. So the idea of raising rates even more is kind of fucking stupid. Just to fair being fair. It's like you can be smart and then you can be fucking stupid. Continuing to raise rates would be fucking stupid. So yeah, that's all I really got, Bender. I don't have a whole hell of a lot. So I think it's best that we get into these charts and start kind of figuring out whether or not this little dip that they've created in through here, if this is the dip, which I just went long in Q, see what we can do here. Let's see. Let's see what we got on the day. I know that at the end of the day, flow was leaning a little bit bullish, but we're opening up a little bit not so bullish. So let's see if we play catch up in through here. So why don't you do the walk for us, and I'll listen, and then say stuff every once in a while.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Well, yesterday we were talking about the NQ and the fact that we were up against this daily fair value gap, and that I was expecting that we weren't going to bust through it. And indeed, we found some resistance up here against the top of that. I'll let Stonkington cover the NQ as he does beautifully every day.
Don't be nice to him. Don't be nice to him. Just please don't do that.
What? Don't tell me how to treat my friends.
Oh, so now he's your friend.
Anyway, going over to the ES here. You can see, I'll go out to a 60-minute, and you can see this triangle right here on the 60-minute. And this is kind of what I'm going to be watching. See if we get a bounce here. And, it got near the bottom of this triangle. And that's where the bounce started to come in. Kind of see what happens with that. I have this 45.89.75 line marked as into the gap. Again, if we go to regular trading hours chart, you can see that underneath that gets us into this actual gap here down to 45.69.75 is the bottom of that gap. Again, because you might look at this and go, well, why are we not at the bottom of the triangle? Well, that's because this is regular trading hours chart. Back to electronic trading hours, and you'll see that we're just above bottom of that triangle. So, we give this stuff out for free, Hells, which, we talked obviously a couple days ago about paying attention because we were up at the top of this trend line again, that trend line resistance, and we got that pull down into that 60-minute fair value gap. That's been filled now, so I'm going to take that off my chart. Reason why is because if we come back down into that, I would not expect that to hold at that point. I'm also going to take that gap off my chart. Because now, again, I think if we break this 45.89.75 level, that puts us in that regular trading hours gap, and we could trade back into that or fill it. If we trade below 45.54, then we've got this double bottom down here at 45.28. And then you've got 45.21.25 is the top of another gap, 45.21.25. And that would put us near the the midpoint of that parallel channel. I wouldn't be surprised, given that we still have some big earnings on deck. I said before, I'll stick to it. Obviously, anything can happen, but I'm not expecting anything major until after those earnings. So, I'm not necessarily looking for a move under 45.54 right now until those earnings are out of the way. Can they do it? Certainly. But I wouldn't be surprised to see this hold today above this 45.89. Now, maybe they get down in here, take it down a little bit, and then bring it back up. But I'm not expecting anything big until after those are out of the way. Once those are out of the way, the next couple weeks, again, I'm looking for a move back down into here, let's say 44.50 or so. Maybe I get it, maybe I don't. If I get lucky, they'll take it right down to the bottom of that channel, which would, 44.50 to 44.70, somewhere in there. I think that's about all I got.
That's it?
Coming into the day here, going back to the 15-minute, again, we're right up against the bottom of this channel. I've given you the levels below. If we break below into that gap and that becomes resistance, you can try to play it down into the bottom of that gap.
Honestly, I was a little bit surprised that we broke yesterday's low. A little bit surprised that we did that, to be honest with you. But we did. So, and when the reason why I say that is, like, I thought that the pressure from the VIX and the dollar would be waning, especially the dollar, and it has not waned. There's been no wane. So it was a little bit surprising that we're going to do it off of reasons that when it doesn't necessarily, it's not within the data necessarily, other than, hey, we're a little bit, up against that trend line, come down to the midpoint, then go from there. But even still, it's a little bit goofy to me that the dollar would all of a sudden catch a bid. It's very interesting. But I think that's where the majority of our pressure is going to come from, is going to be dollar centric, more so than anything else. Maybe you make me a dollar chart again.
Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. You'll have to see after Stonkington covers his charts. But I don't have much else unless there's something else you want to see in this. I mean, there's not a whole lot more that I
just want you to tell me which way it's going to go.
Oh, well, I did that yesterday. Okay,
well, today is a new day. You're only worth what you do from a second to second basis, Bender. So what's next?
I have to let this if this then that scenario play out. Right, like I said, as of right now, I'm anticipating this to hold down around this 45.89 top of the gap. But that's at this particular minute, right? If we break below that 45.89.75 and come up in that axis resistance, then we could go back and fill that gap. So, I don't know. Let's give it a few minutes. Overall, I said on Friday that going into Monday that I was short-term bear coming into Monday. And for the next few weeks, unless we just blow the top off this thing, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, no, I can totally see it. Stonk, you with us, buddy?
Yes, sir. I am
Good
here.
morning, Stonkington. Did I tell you how much I like you, how much I appreciate you, and everything that you do?
Hey, all right. What a great start.
No, hey, listen, Stonkington, do not buy. He's also the one that tells you that your music sucks, that you can't rap, that you can't sing, that you
Well, he
can't.
can't rap.
You know,
He can't rap. He can't. He just can't. That is like in capital letters. Can't rap. He can sing okay if it's the right tune. It's like, and he can play. He can strum. He can do that. I'll give the boy that for sure. He can't rap. Can't rap. He can write some lyrics too. He can do that, but he can't rap. Can't rap. Can't rap. How do you quadruple down on something?
It's so nice to roll out of bed every day and just get all the things, all the opinions. And
Well, I started it off being nice, but Bender had to go fuck it up. If we're being honest, it's
no. If we're being honest, I'm just making sure that he doesn't buy into the like, I'm going to beat you and then tell you I love you.
Who did that?
That's what I'm saying. Like, Stonkington, your raps are shit. Oh, but I love you.
No,
man.
Both can be true.
Yeah,
never
I can
would've
beat.
guessed this is what it would.
Anyway.
My mornings waking up would come to is barely opening my eyes and hearing all the internet opinions about myself. But here we are.
I was
Here
being
we
authentic and saying how much I like him and appreciate his work, and then Bender had to step in and just I guess he got jealous or something. I don't know what to say, but it's not.
I'm just trying to figure out if I'm just saying don't buy into it. Continue, please.
All right, let's do some charts. See if we can get the share going. Let's see.
That's my cue.
There you go. All right, NASDAQ hourly. Let's kind of look through this here. We've left some people behind on the sell, which are marked up here. You can clearly see that's a fair value gap there. We've got this one. It's all fair value gap stuff overlapping our new week opening gap here. This pink box, usually an important line. We saw that a bit yesterday. We had some reactions in that area. Came back, bounced. Marked up. This looks like a pretty key level here. This could be some kind of order block line where the bulls are bringing it to here and then we sell off. So to see, we've got our upside targets. Again, the daily volume imbalance is this pink box up here. Bender was showing downside targets. If we lose this here, I'll be looking for that 701. And then the other part way down here is this trend line here. If we're going to be megaphoning. One thing I was just noticing here is now we've got basically there's some equal bull stops down here and we've got equal bear stops up here. So I would imagine at some point they're going to be run. Just depends on who's first, and we've got some big ERs this week that will help us figure that out. So kind of what I'll be watching here, and I'll be calling stuff out. And then as we usually do for scalping intraday, we'll look at the 5 and 10 minute gaps to help us for that piece. Look at the Russell, gave up a lot of the bounce yesterday, and it's got this little funky looking.
Yeah, fucking Rusty couldn't give it up for me yesterday intraday. So
yeah.
I do not like Rusty at all.
Yeah, the Rusty bag of dicks.
Seriously,
just can't,
the whole thing is just chock full of a bag of dicks, and for whatever reason, it was just like Viagra'd up yesterday, like you wouldn't believe. Just bizarre.
Yep. I was thinking it needed to run that high, and you can see that's exactly what it did. They had to stop out whoever shorted the high of the day and then sold it off. So we've got this daily fair value gap here is the yellow box. And then if we swap back over here, a little 4-hour fair value gap above, this would be our downside target. Here's our new week opening gap. So downside to fill in the daily fair value gap has room down to that 1996.40. Upside, this could be this area up in here would be our first upside target. Oh, what was that? Let's see. Want that one right there. That. So, and then we've got the pink box above is going to be a similar volume imbalance there on the Russell. Also still working on a massive megaphone, so we'll see if we have to come all the way down here to retest. They seem to still be buying small cap in the flow, so I'll be interested to see what we get here on the Russell today. For individual tickers, we had some good daily inside bars, one of them being Microsoft. Basically a rinse repeat on the triggers here, sitting down here near this 334.25 line I was going to keep an eye on. So if we lose that, we've got some dark pool and this kind of fib down here now around 332.50. And then above, if we're going to push to the upside, I'll be watching 336.80. Can see that's been kind of a clear rejected. See if that, support becomes resistance type of thing there on Microsoft, getting compressed. Maybe some kind of like, it's got this trend line look to it here from the top down, this kind of thing. So just going to kind of see what we get here on Microsoft. I think that'll be a good watch.
There was a lot of call writing on Microsoft yesterday, right? Is that how we kind of saw that?
Yeah, there was a bit. I mean, they've been super bullish on it the past few weeks, and now it's like, well, not the best. Here's the ER right here. And then they were up against Google that night, who Google did better this time around. So yeah, I don't remember like a ton standing out for Microsoft, but yeah, it wasn't super as bullish as we've seen it the past couple of weeks. So we'll see what we get there. And then Meta had a good dark pool last night. I posted the dark pools in the room earlier. And looks like it sold off that line. This is where the dark pool came in, 318.60. So if we were to, this is going to be my put trigger here, 316 flat. We're kind of sitting just below it. So if we had to kind of do an adjustment here to give us something to work with, I'd probably move this to right about there. What's that? Move it down to 315 would become the put trigger. Nice round number, 315.05. And then above, we'd use this dark pool would be the new call trigger. So if we get up to 318.60, be looking for the reaction there on Meta. And that's all I got.
That's all you got. You got any overall thoughts on the day other than, you showed two pleasure boxes, which they might try to honey dip both of them. I'm just going to kind of play it as it lies kind of thing. It's like, the flow, we can even see in the flow as it comes in. It's like they were buying small cap, mega cap, they're hesitating. Then we get a little run. It's like, so it's kind of just like got to be ready to quickly change perspective there. The good trade yesterday was that big old rising wedge. And so we just kind of had to let that play out. So yeah, just going to kind of, I don't have a very super clear lean because as I mentioned, if they're going to do a stop run looking at this hourly chart, it's either going to be all the way down here or it's going to be these guys up here. So it's like just going to kind of see which way we start running and play it by ear. Okay. Flow standpoint, I know that there's a pretty decent handful of 4600s expiring today hanging out there. I can say that for sure. Going back and looking at everything yesterday. So there are a decent I'm talking about SPX specifically that are going to open up underwater. There's a decent amount of cash sitting on that line. So we'll see how we rally and we move back up into that area. They are today's expiration, so they're going to wake up, a little bit fucking angry as far as how those are pricing. Overall, we have AMD this evening, and we have more data coming out after open. ISA Manufacturing, I believe, and we get some JOLTS data at the same time. So we will have data in the first 30 minutes. I would imagine that we're going to try to cover a little bit from here into that data release, and then the direction will be kind of dictated after data comes out. So that's how I'm looking. I'm still long in queue from when it was called out a few minutes ago. It's about 25 points off of that run. Putting a stop in underneath. That's all I got. Anybody have anything else?
I'm good.
Nope.
All right, boys and girls, that's it. We'll play ball here in a few minutes. See you soon.
In a few.